Chris Level here with another edition of Patriot Talk. The man, the myth, and the head coach of the Patriots, the legend Joe Sexton, right there. Football season is here, Coach. You guys have worked tirelessly to get to this point. No more, we're just going to play this outlaw schedule. No more, we don't really have a stadium. You kind of do, but not quite just yet. We're getting so close. But now you have a varsity season dropped in your lap, and so this coming Friday night, kickoff is set for 7 o'clock sharp. The new home Leopards, and kind of August 30th, new home. It's just kind of always like circled, and you're just hours, days away.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Yeah.
It's pretty real. You know, Monday, woke up. And that's the first thing that I thought of. You know, can't wait to get these guys. You know, we're going to start off with our JV and freshman Thursday night over playing at Patriot Stadium, and really excited about our freshman group. They have been, we didn't know how many we were going to have, and ended up with about 60 some odd freshmen, and it's been a great group, and just seeing them improve the last few weeks has been really good.
And that's what camp is for, is like a steady improvement with all your kids,
right.
and position groups and chemistry and the culture and all those things. And then you feel like you're seeing a lot of improvement, and yet, as we know, we'll look up in mid-October and like, man, how much better is this or that
right.
compared to,
and especially as coaches, you see stuff that you're doing at the beginning of the year, and then mid-season you start looking at some of your stuff that you were getting ready, and you're like, what were we doing there? That was, or stuff that you threw out of the game plan that you didn't want in because it didn't look right, and all of a sudden it's starting to click and look good. So, yeah, there's a lot of things that can change in a hurry.
Yeah,
especially in this game.
They always say that sometimes coaches because I think what you're touching on is some coaches are too stubborn. They don't toss stuff out. They kind of force it. They force it. But good coaches, they don't use the pencil end. They use the eraser.
Oh yeah, I'm always okay with taking stuff out.
Yeah, I mean, simplifying and let's get good at what we can do.
I kind of use the Little Phil Wildcat philosophy. They ran the same 3 running plays from 7th grade all the way through, and they got really good at them. So, and it didn't matter. It didn't matter if you knew it was coming or not. And you couldn't stop it because they were so good at running it. So I'm good at taking stuff out.
Schematically, with what you'll do, without getting into too much detail here, but schematically, how did you determine, and I know part of what you're going to say is, well, we didn't know what kind of kids we were going to have, but ultimately, how did you land on, this is what I want us to be on defense, this is what I want us to be on offense? How did you kind of put all that together as we're looking back and now it's here?
Well, I'll start off on offense. I love the GT counter. That's just been such a staple at Lubbock Cooper for a long time, starting back with, offensive coordinator Alex Solis. Way back when I first got here, we loved running that counter, and it's just such a great football play, and I wanted an offense that's centered around that play. I wanted, Lincoln Riley does an awesome job, doing that. He has screens off of it. He has, options off of it. He's got a ton of stuff. So I wanted an offense that's centered around that play, and just happened to talk to Coach Newton one time, and, we were both talking about it. I'm like, wow, that fits. So everything that we do is kind of centered around the GT counter. And then on defense, I knew pretty much just by going to middle schools a couple of years ago and looking at our kids, we weren't going to be blessed with a whole lot of really, really big kids. So I really wanted a defense that we could put as many athletes on the field as we could possibly put on.
Are you telling me you were over there at the middle schools and there's not a lot of 6'2", 235 running around?
No, there's not. There's really not. But we had some kids who could really run and like to hit. And so that's when I started looking at, the 3-3 stack or the Iowa State, whatever you want to call it.
Double cloud.
And you just put a bunch of athletes on the field and let them go. And, you know, you get your interior guys that clog up and spill everything to the sidelines, and
everybody comes down
and then let everybody run to the ball. And I knew that more than likely we would have the type of kids to run that defense. So then Coach Tolliver came along and said he had run that before. So
synergy. This is what I'm hearing. This is all kind of just mesh.
It all just comes
works
together.
Yeah.
You know, both coordinators we were all on the same page. So
I don't know if you and I can spell synergistic, but that's what I'm hearing in your coaches' meetings. It's like there's a lot of things going on. And I didn't think we'd get you could check that off the old Patriot Talk bingo card there. Muleshoe's finest, Lincoln Riley's name's been mentioned.
Yes.
And you mentioned Iowa State's defense. John Heacock, phenomenal defensive coordinator for the Cyclones. So, yeah,
we're all over the place.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. I love it. That old counter at Oklahoma when he was there, that Bill Beadenbaugh was a former offensive line coach at Texas Tech for many, many years under Coach Leach.
Yeah.
And they've all made a lot of money running that play.
There's a lot of guys who made a lot of money.
Whether you were carrying it or calling the play in or coaching the group up front, there's all been a lot of money made off of that. Well, that's I love that. Some of that I did not know. I think that's pretty fascinating, and it fits not only what you want to do, but what has worked, and I think it fits your roster.
Right. Oh yeah, definitely. You know, just having those type of kids that, you know, I've been on or been around staffs before. He's like, all right, we're running this,
and
no matter what.
Yeah.
And you just you've got to evolve just a little bit to what your kids can do. And the kids love playing this defense. They're just out running around making plays. You know, Jackson Thomas just has fallen into that star spot and just loves it.
Explain, I know what it is, but in layman's terms, explain what a star is.
So our star player is that middle safety.
Kind of a hybrid.
Yeah, he's you know, we only play with one linebacker in the box, so, you know, when you come up and you look, you know, it looks like we're pretty light, you know, with basically four in the box, but we can get a whole lot of people to the box in a hurry. And that middle safety you don't know whether he's got run responsibility, pass responsibility. He can show up and be that second linebacker in a hurry. And he is just fit for that spot. You know, he gets to the ball, and he's got some pretty good genes.
He's got a little pedigree.
Yes.
Just a titch. All from his sweet mother, Cassidy. Thinking about you out there, all from his sweet mother. And I think you did so much about what your job is, and I'm going to get to that in a second because I think you probably didn't really grasp, and now that it's here, how many different directions you're getting tugged and pulled at.
Right. There's a lot of that.
I'm as guilty of tugging and pulling on Joe as much to do things like this so the public can hear about what's going on in this program. But I think one of the things that it's not about coaching and motivating. Sometimes it's about who you surround yourself with, and you did a phenomenal job with like Dwayne and Barry. As far as your coordinators go, quality people, stand for the right things, good football coaches, energy. I mean, brag on those guys for a second.
We were at a luncheon with Coach Darden and Coach Catwinkle and myself were at a luncheon just a little while ago. And one of the guys we were sitting with says, I thought y'all had, your second period athletics. Who runs that when you're not there? And, both Coach Darden and I said, when I'm not there or when Coach Darden's not at practice, coaches run it. Coach Tolliver and Coach Newton, they're used to me being gone. I was gone the whole spring last year. Coach Quentin, Coach Gerber, you just go all the way down the line. And they do the same things whether I'm there or whether I'm gone. And I trust them to do exactly what we're going to do every day, because we plan out our week. And those two put the practice schedules together, and I just follow their practice schedule, and it's I'm not the least bit concerned about what's going on when I'm gone because I know those guys are going to run it.
JoJo, the CEO. Put it on a shirt.
Nobody wants to wear that.
Okay, now back to that part about you're a head coach, and there's just a lot of people and a lot of things that you must do or as part of that job that has nothing to do with coaching a game on a Friday night. Have you been able to manage your situation and your time? Because it's just things that you never thought
Oh, yeah.
of. I mean,
Well, I've got several calendars, and I put everything in every calendar just so I don't
make a mistake.
make a mistake, because the worst thing for me is to have somebody call and go, "Hey, are you coming?" Oh gosh.
Your worst nightmare.
Yeah, so I try to make sure that I keep everything. I've got a desk calendar with tons of stuff on it, and I've got my calendar on my phone, and then Google and all sorts of stuff. So because I don't want to be that guy that everybody goes, "Man, he's always late," because I don't deal with that very well. So I don't want to be that guy. That's
One of the worst things you can be in life is late. I mean, that is
agree.
one of the worst qualities that it exists. I despise it, and when I creep, it drives me, because that's when mistakes happen. It's when accidents happen. That's when
I just remember as a child, like, we would be going to eat, and my dad would be sitting in the garage honking the horn. Just,
I love it. And
Oh.
so now you're the sit in the garage honk the horn guy.
I
Yeah,
am.
that's
Let's
what
go.
you've become.
Let's
Yeah,
go.
I love
Let's
it. When you're 5 minutes early, you're on time. Yeah, that's the good mentality.
yeah, we're trying to get our kids towards that, especially with our freshmen right now.
These are the life lessons, though, that you're tasked with.
If your job starts at 8 o'clock, you don't get there at 8 o'clock.
Better not, or you
Probably won't have that job very long.
they'll find somebody else that'll be there when they're supposed to be
Right.
there. Yeah, that's right. Okay, tell me what you know about this new home team. They have a really good quarterback, Caleb Cook. I've actually known the Cook family for a long time. He's a phenomenal player. What else do you expect to see?
Well, everything runs around him, I think. Their backfield is very athletic from what I've seen so far. He is a phenomenal athlete, like you said. We're going to have to do our best to try to not let him win the game. I think he's got a brother or two that's
Colby. Yep, that's right.
That's a receiver out there. So
And a linebacker. Yep.
So they've got some really good athletes, and we're just going to try to contain those guys. Their offense is, fairly similar to ours. They're gonna run the quarterback a little bit, and lots of sprint out, lots of putting the quarterback in a position where he can run. And then on defense, I think from what I've seen is they're gonna make you make the mistakes. Their defense is not gonna, be in the wrong coverage at the wrong time, and they're going to force you to drive the ball 14, 15 plays and hope that the offense will make a mistake. One of the bend but don't break kind of things.
The flip side is to that, okay, yeah, the bend but don't break, but the offensive version of that is you can't go broke making a profit. I mean, and you take what they give you, 3 yards, 6 yards.
Well,
you just.
As a coordinator, you think that offensive coordinator is not going to throw that hitch 7 times in a row.
And maybe he will.
Coach Newton might.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Again, you can't go broke making a profit. True statement. Yeah, and that seems to be the way that football has changed, is that everybody is into the business of keep everything in front of you, get downhill.
Except for Bushland.
That
was a little different.
Yeah, no, I understood. Is there anything like that you will tell your team without getting into too much detail before they go out there, just to kind of, I don't know, calm them down, where everybody's so amped up and has waited for this and has probably dreamed about it and all that you'll kind of do, hey, I mean, because you don't have any seniors. They've never done this before. This is varsity football for the first time for every one of these kids.
I would say probably if you ask the kids, what I talk about the most, during scrimmages was just everybody slow down. Just take a deep breath. I tell Colton this all the time, and I don't coach quarterbacks.
Colton Bouchard, yeah.
I've coached quarterbacks before, but all I talk about with him, we don't talk about, how to read safeties or how to read whatever, but I just talk to him about slow the game down. Just take a deep breath, because when something's going wrong, everybody's all bound up, and they're just, you just got to relax.
Calming presence.
So that's probably going to be the one thing that I talk about right before we go out is just everybody enjoy it.
Yeah.
We're only going to have one very first varsity football game, and this is it, and let's go enjoy it.
Yeah, that's great advice, and because typically on a sideline or just in a football setting in general, people can kind of lose their minds.
It's chaos.
And it's organized in a lot of cases, but those who can control that, operate within it, are compartmentalize it. If you will,
that's what I like about all of our coaches. They're all able to
experience,
right? And we're going to be able. I've seen coaches. And you can see it on TV all the time. Headsets flying, and it's. We're all on the same team, and if that kid comes off and he's just getting ripped apart, how can we expect him to tell us what he's seeing out there so we can try to figure out how to fix it? And so we've got to have level heads. The kids have got to have level heads, and now I'm not saying it's all going to be, like elevator music on our sideline, but it's. We want our kids to be able to talk to us and tell us what they're seeing.
Last week we finished this thing up with, kind of sharing, your dream as a child about wanting to be a backup dancer in a boy band. I'm not going to do that to you again today. I'll leave that in the past. I would just say...
I think you already did.
I would just say, good luck, man. There's a lot of people excited for you and rooting for you and these kids, and man, go have some fun. And I know you'll rep this thing well.
We're gonna try. That's all we can do is go out and play hard and play with a little poise and a little humility and see what happens. Yeah.
Everybody be out there early at New Home on Friday night. If you're watching this prior to kickoff and all those things, the seating is limited. Make sure that you get out there at the school one of these days early to buy your tickets ahead of time. Parking is going to be limited, seating limited. Lawn chairs, just whatever you kind of come up with. Hopefully the weather will cooperate. The temperature should be awesome. Temperature is supposed to be mid-70s at kickoff, which is a cold front to those of us living in the Lone Star State here, and with what we've endured the last 2 or 3 months. We will have a stream on the YouTube channel. My man Colton Coons, who you cannot see, he is just over the camera's right shoulder, I guess it would be. He's like right over there. He's going to be streaming this on the YouTube channel. We will also have a radio broadcast with Branson Nash, Colt Rogers, myself, and Macy Maynard on 93.1 Yes FM. You can get an app on your phone. You can listen to it in the car, whatever you want to do, and listen to some Patriot football. And it's our pleasure to bring all that to you. So with that, we want to wish our luck here from the Patriot Talk folks here to Coach Sexton and his group. So go crush it, man. We'll talk about it next week.
All right. Can't wait.
There we go. Thanks for listening.